What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss last Saturday's UFC 324, the event in its entirety from top to bottom. But guys, before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. Help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. What an event. The start to the Paramount era was a smashing success, even with all of the fight pullouts and weight blunders and Keila Harrison and Amanda Nunes being called off, Ricky Tercios and Cameron Smotherman being called off. Scary moment with the weight cut as well with Cameron Smotherman, right? Alexander Hernandez versus Michael Johnson being pulled off because of the odd betting situation going on with that. And then you had two other fighters miss weight, Alex Perez and Figueiredo. The fights ended up going forward, but still, all of this uncertainty kind of went into the event, and it still didn't halter on how it played out. It was entertaining as ever from top to bottom. I love how the UFC, they added the extra bonuses for finishes and for fight of the night would be $100,000 bonus, performance of the night $100,000 bonus instead of the 50. Love it, right? I think that was a good move, good PR move by the UFC. Definitely incentivizes these guys to go out there and get the job done extra, especially like if you're on a 10-10, you want to get that knockout or that submission. That's 25 grand right there. Now, I don't know, because we're going to talk about a little bit with Alex Perez. I guess we'll get there. Let's slow down. Starting at the top, right? I mean, Justin Gaethje dominates his way against Paddy Pimblett to his second interim title victory. I mean, my God, Gaethje went out there and just put a beating on Paddy. Where Paddy, I mean, honestly, where he was getting beat up most of the fight, he won the third round, right? But still was throwing heat. I mean, it was like, this fight reminded me a lot of JDM versus Bilal, where we didn't see Bilal like throw a takedown until crazy late into the fight, right? And Paddy, we saw that. Paddy did not utilize any grappling early on in this fight, but he did get dropped early, so it's like he got hurt early in the fight. So, I mean, he was probably in fight or flight mode the rest of that competition. But Gaethje went out there and just insane aggression, walked through all the leg kicks, walked through everything that Paddy had to give, had Paddy up against the fence throughout the entire fight. Got sloppy, but you could tell, dude, Justin was like a kid in the candy store, happy as ever. You can see Trevor Whitman trying to wrangle him in between rounds and tell him to just fucking tighten up, chill out, don't throw everything, because Gaethje was getting wild. He was throwing all technique out the window, and he was getting caught with some shots from Paddy, who was just, the uppercut from Paddy was phenomenal. The leg kicks from Paddy was phenomenal. He was throwing heat from start to finish. It was just Gaethje just would not wilt. The constant pressure, the clear difference on the feet skill wise. I mean, it was very evident. And Paddy just, by the time he was throwing those takedowns in that fifth round, it was just too fucking late. It was just too late. He was too beat up. They were too slippery. You know, if you want to utilize that type of grappling, you got to do it when you're dry, right? Now, what I hope to not see is a narrative that Paddy Pimblett is trash. There wasn't really anybody else who really had this fight. Like, you could say Arman, right? But Arman just keeps fucking himself right in the ass. It's true. The whole situation with the original fight with Islam, UFC put him on ice, came back, fought Charles, won the fight. I didn't think he won the fight, but he got his hand raised. Then, was put on ice again, comes back, and then headbutts Dan Hooker at their weigh-in. Breaks his fucking nose. Almost screwed up another main event. How, as a company, how do you put the promotion behind somebody who's so unpredictable? It's a Muhammad Makayev thing too. You gotta look at it from a business standpoint. They don't want to stand behind a guy who's gonna fuck up events, who's not gonna show up, who's gonna be unprofessional and immature. But Arman's good as fuck. He really is like the #1 contender. But with all those things that play out, it's like Paddy shows up, he shows out, he wins. Next man up, right? And I don't want to see a narrative that Paddy Pimblett's trash and doesn't deserve top flight opponents. And going forward, right, who does Paddy fight next? I was talking with a coworker today. God, he said somebody that made a lot of sense. I forgot, but BSD and Dan Hooker's this weekend. I mean, I think you can give Paddy either of them. I mean, if Hooker wins and loses, you can give him Dan Hooker. If BSD wins or loses, you can give him that matchup as well. I would love to see the grappling against the aggression of Benoit Saint-Denis. I would love to see what Paddy can do against a guy who's tough as nails like Dan Hooker. Two guys who really don't get knocked out off. I mean, obviously Paddy's never been knocked out, but Dan Hooker's tough as nails. So moving forward, I'd like to see either of those two matchups for Paddy Pimblett. God, I forgot what my coworker told me. I liked what he said. I forgot what it was. But maybe even Brian Ortega, because isn't Brian no? Because I know Brian's coming up to 55, but he might be fighting Moicano. I don't know. For Gaethje, obviously Ilya Taporia. And if Ilya doesn't come back as soon as we hope, you got to give him Arman. I think Arman, you have to, right? You have to. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Arman, but you got to give him the shot. Like, who else is there? Who else? Like, you got Max and Charles, who are, but you got to let that happen first. I think that's in March. So there's still time. But what a fight. Fucking start to finish. I mean, exhilarating. Gaethje could not be denied. So happy for him. Even though I picked Paddy, you guys know I said I wanted Gaethje to win. I was rooting for Gaethje. So, yeah, no. Great main event to cap off the Paramount era. Next up, Sean O'Malley defeats Song Yadong. Controversial decision. I don't want to say robbery for this one, but I definitely scored the first 2 rounds for Song. I have not rewatched the fight since watching it live. And I know sometimes watching things live, emotions, all that, can definitely skew, especially my perspective sometimes. I've definitely gone back and had a different perspective on fights before. But I thought the first 2 rounds, the pressure, the leg kicks of Song, confidence, he was really kind of putting it to O'Malley, where he was kind of fighting off his back foot, trying to use his lateral movement. But I thought Song was fighting just a phenomenal game plan against Sean in those first 2 rounds. And then in that 3rd round, you see Sean come alive. You see the confidence. You see all that fight, that fire, that grit, heart, will, determination, all those things that made Sugar Sean O'Malley the champion that he was. You saw him come alive again. He was punishing Song. I don't remember if that knee was in the 2nd round or not, but that 3rd round was all Sean O'Malley, right? This is why I wanted to see 5 rounds of that fight. I think they should have made it 5 rounds once it got pushed up. But what are you going to do? But what a fight. Sean went out there and showed he still has it. He got his hand raised. I didn't agree with that, but I don't think it was a robbery. Because might have been the 1st round. It was still close. Close enough. But, minuscule, right? So I'm not mad that Sean got his hand raised, but I thought Song did enough to get the victory. Now, as for O'Malley, what's next for him, right? I know Corey Sandhagen called him out. I mean, I feel like that's a fight you just gotta fucking have. You gotta have, because I feel like you're gonna have Jan and Merab 3. I think that just needs to happen. But now that O'Malley has that victory over Peter Yan, the current champion, it's hard to not argue for that, but I think Merab definitely has earned his right for that trilogy fight against Peter Yan. And I think in the meantime, Corey, Sean, please, get boys, sign the fight. Dana, sign the fight. Come on. We all want to see it. It's like not Jean Silva. It's like Diego Lopez and Yair. Like, why aren't you guys making that fucking fight? Make the fight. Anyways, but no, great fight, great co-main event. Song went out there, showed out, and I don't think he loses any traction in defeat. If anything, he gains hype, gains traction, stays right where he is. And as for Sean, good for you in getting your hand raised, and very happy to see him come back to life in that 3rd round. Yeah. Next up, Waldo Cortez Acosta knocks out Derek Lewis in the 2nd round in a fight where, Waldo was faster, younger, more explosive, lighter on his feet, where Derek, just couldn't move. He couldn't find Waldo. He could not find the chin of Waldo. He just couldn't really make anything happen. He looked like he was hurt. He looked very stiff. I was wondering what was going on maybe with his back or his neck. He's had issues with his back in the past. So maybe he was hurt. I don't know. I don't want to make any excuses, though, for, either guy. But you could tell, man, that knockout exchange where he went for it, got clipped at the end of that strike by Waldo. And you saw it was more of I don't want to say give up, but he was so frustrated once he got clipped with that. He was like, all right, I'm done. And I'm not mad at him for it either. Like, he couldn't get anything done. He couldn't really find anything. And by the time it happened, it was just kind of over. You know, like, what are you going to do? You know, so it's like, I don't blame Derek for kind of going out the way he did. It just sucked to see him perform the way he did too. I just felt like there was more to it than that in his performance. He just seemed way too stiff, way too flat-footed. And I felt like he wanted to move better than the way that he was. Sorry, guys. I got cotton mouth like a motherfucker. But phenomenal win for Waldo, which really, I mean, again, fast tracks him towards this title position, right? And I think now with this Derek Lewis loss, we're talking about Rico Verhoeven. I think Rico was one who turned down the fight, but I think Derek, Rico, I think it's a good fight for Rico to come in. And, you know, I mean, if you felt like it was too risky to fight Derek before, it's a little less risky now. I mean, there's more to lose, because if you lose to a guy like Derek, I don't know. But Waldo definitely has put himself in a very close short list for a title shot, interim title shot. Maybe him and Cyril do things before, maybe a rematch with Sergey because he lost to Sergey last year. I don't know. But Waldo, who has just been super active, 4 fights since August, what are you going to do, you know? I'm a fan. He's grown on me a lot the past, like, 13, 14 months. Definitely. Yeah, just stay active. I think he just does whatever the fuck he wants to do. It's such a weak division. He can really go out there and make a lot of money this year. And he's putting guys away without taking too much damage, too. They can't hit him. And as for Derek, I mean, whatever he wants to do, right? I mean, there's nothing else to, like, prove for Derek Lewis. So, I mean, whatever the guy wants to do, just go out there and do it. I'll watch. I'm a fan. Next up, Natalia Silva defeats Rose Namajunas. Again, controversial decision. I'm not going to sit here and say robbery, but I mean, this one was definitely, I felt more of a robbery than the O'Malley victory, where I thought Rose won the first 2 rounds again. I thought that she did a very good job at slowing Natalia down, cutting her off, sticking to the basics, landing good straights, and just kind of nullifying the game of Silva, where, I mean, Natalia looked fast, explosive, good lateral movements, throwing kicks, but they weren't really landing. And then in that 3rd round, you saw Rose starting to fatigue a little bit, and then Natalia was kind of working her game and showing that she was stronger and all that, right? But I thought Rose won 1 and 2. But it just goes to show there is some sort of narrative that's being pushed with some of these people the UFC want to win. You know, it's like you can't let it go to the judges, you know, but Rose going up to this new weight class, it's going to be harder for her to put away these bigger girls. You're not fighting 115ers anymore. You're fighting 125ers. It's a different weight class. It's just a different vibe. Different vibe. Sorry, guys. But next up for Natalia, clearly title shot against Shevchenko. I think she does good against Valentina as well. That's an interesting fight, interesting kickboxing fight that we're going to see. But if Valentina's smart, she takes that fight to the fucking ground, and I think she does too. As for Rose, just like Derek, whatever she wants to do, whoever she wants to fight, she can fight whoever the fuck she wants, when she wants. Tough. Because I felt the same thing happened with Manon Fiorot as well. Yeah. Tough. Next up, Jean Silva defeats Arnold Allen by decision. I mean, one gave it 30-27. I had it 29-28. I gave Jean rounds 2 and 3. I thought Arnold was working a good game plan in the first round, but going into 2 and 3, Jean's physicality, aggression, and he was always just landing. His awkward style, the way that he throws, he's always throwing off of breaks. He's always just making every exchange. He's punishing Allen throughout. And you saw him just slowly fade a little bit. And like you just saw Jean just start kind of just going away with it. And going into that 3rd round where Arnold, he just didn't throw enough. He wasn't active enough. He just wasn't active enough. And you could just see that Silva was just more physical, just kind of started to bully Arnold as the fight went on. You saw that when he jumped on top of him and just kind of, I don't know. Jean's so fucking good. He's just proving how good he is, Because Arnold Allen's a fucking, like I said, he's a dirty demon, right? He's a dirty dog. And to see Jeon go out there and kind of put that beating on him towards the end of the fight and just bully Arnold Allen, it's impressive. And where, I mean, God, the featherweight division's so thick, right? You can give Jeon Laurent, you can give him Movsar, you can give him the winner or loser, you can give him a rematch with Diego Lopez if Diego Lopez loses to Volk. There's so much what you can do with Jeon Silva, and he's interesting. Imagine a Volkanovski versus Silva fight, but you got Movsar and Laurent Murphy both ahead of Jeon Silva, so. But what are you going to do? And is Murphy and Movsar, are they even matched up? Like that's also like my question, because I feel like that hasn't been officially announced yet, oddly enough. But big victory for Jeon Silva, fucking savage, dude. And Arnold Allen, like, what are you going to do with Arnold Allen? A lot of good fights, a lot of good matchups. Yusuf Salal would be a good one. Josh Emmett would be a good one. That's all I'm thinking of right now, top of my head. Loser of Movsar Laurent Murphy. Oh, he already fought Movsar, which was a close fight. I don't know. Next up, Umar Nurmagomedov defeats Stevenson Figueiredo in a fight where the fans booed. I don't understand these fans. Like, when you see like a minus 1,800 favorite, that skews the brain. That tricks, like, oh, well, Umar should go out there and finish. No, all that says is that Umar's going to get his hand raised. Not by how. Just because you're a minus 1,800 favorite doesn't mean you're a minus 1,800 favorite to get the finish. And that skews the fans' perspectives. And it makes them think, oh, well, I mean, he should just go out there and steamroll. No, man. You can't. That's the one thing with MMA and boxing. Like, it's hard to rate and bet on somebody's heart, grit, will, determination to win, especially on any given night. That can change. It can change time of day. But Figgy is a former champ for a reason, who also has grit, heart, will, determination for days. And powerful, explosive. No, he's not who he used to be, and he's in a new weight class. And Umar's, he's supposed to be, that motherfucker. But Umar did dominate. He did go out there and win. Controlled. Step ahead of Figgy the whole time. But Figgy was, fought valiantly. Fought tough. Showed why he was the former champ. So I think everybody, when you see these guys boo, that's the fans just not knowing what the fuck they're watching. It's frustrating. Umar won like he was supposed to. But everybody just thinks, we want blood, you savages. Fucking savages. But big victory for Umar. Got the victory that he needed to get, that he was supposed to get. And he looked good. I thought he looked good. And Figgy, 38. What are you going to do? Number 6 in the world still. Still look good in defeat, in a sense. Even though he got 30-27, there's context. Context to those numbers. Atiba Gauthier defeats Andre Puliev, in a fight where he should have, dropped Puliev early, where, Atiba is patient. And in this fight, people were upset, but there was clearly an issue why he wasn't really trying to force the finish too much as the fight went on. He said he hurt his elbow. Okay, cool. And he wanted to, I'm sure he wants to get some octagon time in before he starts fighting these killers, and get comfortable in the octagon. Cool, fair. That's what you want to do. But understand you're going to piss off the UFC doing that, and they're pushing him hard. But he did early. He dropped his opponent early, punished him early, and he was able to really go out there and just methodically get a nice victory. I know it was like 29-28 across the board. I know Mark Smith blew out his ACL during this fight, I think, and he still went out there and was still able to raise the opponent's hand. But imagine that, what happens when the ref blows his knee? He's there to protect the fighters. Who's going to protect him? I know they got the other guys on standby. It's just funny to me when the ref ends up blowing out his knee in the middle of the fight. That's fucked up. So hopefully, Mark, I hope you rest up, man. That sucks. But Atiba got the victory that he should have got. Andre, I think, showed the ability to bounce back. Showed, even though he got dropped, that he's able to kind of gather himself and, fought smart. Showed that he wanted to stay in it. It's impressive. A lot of guys will wilt after that. Not everybody fights through that type of shit. So, good for Tiva, you know, and only gain off his experience. But I'm curious, though, will we see him take a little bit more of a risk now that he's got that little bit of octagon time that he said that he was seeking? So I don't know. Next up, Nikita Krylov knocks out Modestas Bukauskas at the very end of their fight, 4 minutes, 57 seconds of the third round, where, I mean, for like the very first time, we saw a very methodical and patient Nikita Krylov, which was what he needed to do, right? He was established range, didn't take too many chances, but still also lighting Modestas up throughout the fight, showing that he was, you know, the more skilled guy, the more of a veteran, right? More tricks up his sleeve. Now, Modestas was landing some good shots. He was still trying to go out there and take the fight to Krylov, but at the end of the day, the skill showed. The killer instinct of Krylov took in at the end of the fight, and he found that kill shot, put him away. I liked the stoppage. Once he dropped the opponent and kind of cracked him at the end, you see him kind of flatten out. It's the end. I don't care if it's 4:58 or 30 seconds in. It's the right call. And showed that even at the end of the fight, Nikita's got that killer instinct. Even though he's got all those first-round stoppages and whatnot, you know, he can still go out there and get it done at the end and stay patient. And I think that's going to help him moving forward because he's taken all that damage. So I think it's a way for him to learn and adapt and fight a new way to fight methodically, a little bit more technically, but still try and seek that kill shot and have that sense of urgency, but patience at the same time, if that made any sense. Good win for Nikita. He needed that shit. As for Bukauskas, good test. He's been really on a nice streak. We've seen him kind of blossom a bit. So even though he kind of got this knockout loss, I expect him to come back this summer against, you know, another tough opponent in the light heavyweight division. You know, I don't think he loses much steam at all. Next up, Alex Perez. Wow, knocks out Charles Johnson in their first round of their fight. I mean, everybody had counted Alex Perez out in this fight, including myself, knowing that, I mean, he had fought for a title in the past and that he's a dangerous opponent. And Charles Johnson, though, just seemed that he, you know, knockout win over the current champion in Joshua Van. Well, I think won 4 of his last 5 fights, but the one loss against the guy who popped for steroids. Got cracked. Alex Perez was there to fight, even though he missed weight. He was there to fight, bro, and he had the hands. He made Charles pay. Jason Herzog, I give credit to giving Charles every opportunity to recover in that fight. Because, I mean, it wasn't looking good for him from the first drop, right? From the first knockdown. And he tried to battle it back. He went for it, but Alex Perez stayed patient, landed every shot after that, and just fucking put him away. You know? And was, you know, definitely probably kept his job. Now, I don't know if he's going to get the knockout bonus because he missed weight by a few pounds, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this. I'm excited for Alex in this fight because he needed that, losing 5 of his last 6 before this. And to see where Charles was with all that confidence, kind of stole his energy, stole his hype. Now Charles is going to have to battle his way back, you know, especially talking that hot game. But, you know, I was on the train too. So I think energy is still going to have that energy moving forward. Next up, Josh Hokett dominates Denzel Freeman. It was at the very end of the first round knockout victory. I mean, Denzel, it just goes to show just there's levels. Being 30, 40 pounds heavier, being the bigger guy, Josh Hokett still was able to dominate the bigger guy in that fight, right? Because Hokett went into that fight about 235 pounds, very undersized against the bigger heavyweight in Denzel Freeman, and he went out there and just did whatever the fuck he wanted. Did whatever he wanted, and then ended the fight with a fun, cheesy, but entertaining post-fight speech. I'm not going to agree with everything he said, but he went out there, and if you want to get eyeballs on you, that's what you need to do. And then his post-fight, press conference, he had some random kid, I think, kind of translate for him in a funny way. I thought that was pretty cool. So, as cheesy it is, I like what Hokett's doing. We kind of need that weird energy kind of in the... That's the best way to describe MMA is Josh Hokett. It's just weird, but it works, and it doesn't make sense, but it does. And I'm here for it. So, Josh Hokett, this is cool. I'm I'm on the Josh Hokett train. Now, I do say, this may be too early. My coworker said this was too early. But I want to see Josh Hokett versus Walter Walker. Is that crazy? Is that crazy? Is that too soon? I'd like to see Hokett versus Walter Walker. We got a weak heavyweight division. I think that would show out. Wrestler, jiu-jitsu. I'd like to see it. Can Walter get the heel hook on Josh Hokett? I don't know. All right, guys. Next up, last but not least, Ty Miller knocks out Adam Fugit. Very end of the first round in their fight, where, I mean, Adam went out there and did what he could against the younger, explosive phenom of Ty Miller. This kid is going to be somebody to watch, 24, 25 years old. Put away the dangerous striker, finish seeker of Adam Fugit, and just looked fast, strong, explosive, tall, long, and lanky. You know, did not let the cut on his forehead affect him in any way, and just went right into the fire and landed punishing, accurate shots on the slow and stiffer fighter, more stiff fighter in Adam Fugit. So whatever Ty Miller at welterweight, I'm curious to see. Welterweight is becoming such a fun division to watch. You got all these guys blossoming right in front of our eyes. Shavkats, Ian Gary's. I don't know why I'm blanking on the rest of the division, but, you know, like Michael Morales and Carlos Prates. And, I mean, there's so much going on at welterweight. Mike Mallow, Ty Miller. There's a lot at welterweight. I mean, literally the top 15 is just killer's row. What an event, right, guys? Fun way to cap off the card. I was only able to live stream the co-main and the main. I had some people over, but I'm going to continue doing the live streams moving forward. It's fun. A little awkward for me to do live because I do fight by fight usually on my breakdowns. I'm not really comfortable doing live stuff, but this is something that I enjoy. I enjoyed doing it. And Johnny Monday, buddy, thank you for joining in. I thought that was pretty cool to talk with you during the fights and kind of have like a more of an engaged conversation. I thought that was pretty neat. But yeah, can't wait to see next week. Well, this weekend, because it's Monday now, that we got Volk versus Lopez 2. It's going to be a fun card because there's going to be a lot of up-and-coming guys in this as well. The prelims, I got my work cut out for me this week on film tape. A lot of guys, I don't know who the fuck I'm watching, so these early prelims are going to be pretty interesting. But you know what? I feel like the UFC knows what they're doing, and even though they're not the biggest names, it's going to be a big card. It's going to be a fun card. But yeah, tune in later this week. I think tomorrow I'm going to be dropping my main card predictions for UFC 325. If not, I might be doing it tonight anyways, depending on when this coffee, how much this coffee lasts in me right now. I got the fire in me right now. But guys, thank you for everything. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you're still here, you fucking better. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.